Hello, I'm Gerard Saylor of the LD Fargo Public Library in beautiful town Lake Mills, Wisconsin. It snowed last night, but it's going to get up into the 40s today, so all that snow is going to be gone. But it's still cold up here in the meeting room, and that's why I have the scarf on. First book here, I have two, is Child 44 by Tom Rob Smith. This is a thriller. This had a lot of really good reviews for it, and so I decided to try it out. It's set in 1953 Russia with Leo, who's an MGB officer. MGB was a predecessor to the KGB. And Leo is sent to quiet an investigation or complaints that a child may have been murdered there in Moscow where Leo works. But this is the Soviet Union, the workers' paradise, and there's no crime. At least there's not supposed to be any crime. Any crime could be attributed to foreign influences or insanity. So he quiets up this murder about a young boy, about 5 years old, who's killed in a unique way. And then Leo ends up getting in trouble because in the Soviet Union at the time, paranoia reigned supreme. You can't trust anybody. Anybody can denounce you, and once you're denounced, you're screwed. The MGB will come along, pick you up, take you over to the Lubyanka prison, torture you, get some names out of you, maybe shoot you in the back of the head, give you maybe a 5-minute trial, or send you off to Siberia. And Leo ends up getting basically denounced himself by some people he's in competition with, some enemies within the MGB, and he gets sent out into the middle of nowhere at a factory town, a low-level job, and he runs across a completely identical murder of a child there. And he sees that they're connected, and he starts to investigate, and things move on from there. But the real villain in here isn't the serial killer himself, who's really vile, horrible, horrible stuff, or his colleagues who he has to fight against, who are also really ruthless and without any morals at all. No problem with shooting a farmer and his wife and in the back of the head out in the middle of the farm, and almost shooting the two children until Leo stops him. But the real villain here is the Soviet Union at the time under Stalin, and how anybody at any time could be taken away and killed. There's a talk in here at one point. Rob Smith is writing about how pretty much kind of a quasi-official age for execution is 12 years old and above. And anybody under that age, they'll get sent off to these horrible orphanages. And it's really good use of setting and using that here. I think Tom Rob Smith did a really good job. The thriller portions of that and the serial portions, kind of a police procedural too, are also really well done. Leo he's a novice at this. He's really just a political hack who goes out, picks people up when they're suspected of any kind of subversion. He doesn't really have any investigative skills, and he's kind of stumbling along, doing it by just guesswork as he's doing his investigation. But it's really well done. Good characters, great setting, really bad guys. And here is second book, Leather Maiden by Joe R. Lansdale. Lansdale is really famous as a horror writer. He's gotten a lot of awards doing that, but he's written all sorts of things. He's written comics, thrillers. He did a Tarzan book, westerns, all sorts of short stories. He has a mystery series with Hap Collins and Leonard Pine. New books have come out in that series in a while, but the ones that has written have been pretty good. And he uses a lot of humor, just kind of out of left field stuff. He's also really good at dialogue too between characters, but he can be pretty crude sometimes, and lots of sex, lots of violence. And this one is no exceptions. Leather Maiden has the main character is a journalist. His name is Kason Statler. He's a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. He's got some pretty nasty post-traumatic stress disorder and a drinking problem because of it. And he ends up taking a job as a columnist in his hometown newspaper. And when he's researching ideas for columns, he's looking through his predecessor's notes, and he finds out about a local college student who had gone missing. And he starts investigating that. He writes a column. It draws attention. And things go from there, where you find out that the college student was not who she appeared. She was a sexual blackmailer. She was involved with some pretty nasty people. And as things go on, there's some people who are skinned, and he finds out about other missing people, and he has sex with his coworker, and his brother, who's a college professor, was having sex the college professor was married and he was having sex with a missing girl and he was being blackmailed, and so was the rest of the history department because the girl was having sex with him too. And then there's the black preacher, famous guy from New York, opposed to the redneck preacher from Texas. And there's all sorts of stuff going on there. But you know, you really keep reading right along. If the language doesn't bother you and the violence doesn't bother you and the sex doesn't bother you, and why should it, as Lansdale says, you know, I'm not passing judgment here. If you don't like it, don't read it. That's fine. I don't care. We got lots of books. If you like it, that's fine too. I don't care. We got lots of books too. We have lots of books. Just come out and check out a book. But anyway, if that doesn't bother you, this is really well written. It moves you right along. And like I said, I think he's really good at dialogue. The interactions between the characters. Because the tough thing about dialogue is that when you write dialogue, you don't really write the way people talk. I mean, like I'm talking now, I stop, start, stutter. And it's hard to get that through in the text sometimes. You know, and pauses just like that. But I think basically Lansdale does a good job. So that's Child 44 by Tom Rob Smith and Leather Maiden by Joe R. Lansdale. These are both relatively new within the past year. This is April 2008 and this was August 2008. That's what's to read. I'm wearing this scarf because it's cold up here in the meeting room, not because I'm trying to look all Frenchy. And that's not gray hair. That's just poor lighting. I'm George Saylor, LD Fargo Public Library. That's all.